My beloved child, I know the weight you have been carrying when you were accused of what you did not do, misunderstood for what you could not explain, and judged by people who never asked to hear your heart. I know the tiredness that entered your soul when you tried again and again to speak the truth, but your words seemed to fall against a wall that would not open. I saw the way you searched for the right sentence, the right tone, the right moment, believing that if you could only explain it clearly enough, they would finally understand that your heart was not what they said it was. But my beloved child, I also saw what it cost you. I saw the nights when your mind kept replaying conversations, wondering what you should have said differently. I saw the moments when you defended your motives, clarified your intentions, softened your words, swallowed your tears, and still walked away feeling unheard. I saw how accusation can become a heavy garment, how misunderstanding can make even an innocent heart feel ashamed, how being misread by people you cared about can drain strength from places no one else can see. Do not think I was absent in those moments, not even for a single second. When they heard only fragments, I heard the whole story. When they looked at the outside, I looked at your heart. When they formed conclusions before asking questions, I already knew the truth before it was twisted, before it was repeated, before it became a burden you felt forced to carry. I know what happened. I know what did not happen. I know what you meant. I know what you never had the chance to say. And now, my beloved child, I am not asking you to argue louder. I am not asking you to exhaust yourself trying to force open hearts that have chosen to remain closed. I am calling you into holy stillness, not because your pain does not matter, but because I have entered the matter. There comes a moment when self-defense becomes another chain, and I do not want you bound to the opinions of those who were never willing to see you clearly. There comes a moment when explaining more will not heal what only my hand can touch. Remember what is written, "The Lord will fight for you, and you shall hold your peace." This does not mean you are powerless. It means you are covered. It does not mean the truth has died. It means the truth has been placed in my hands. Silence is not defeat when I am the one standing beside you. Stepping back is not weakness when I am stepping forward. Holding your peace is not surrendering to the lie. It is surrendering the battle to the one who sees every hidden thing. So today, let your heart breathe. Lay down the speech you keep rehearsing in your mind. Lay down the imaginary courtroom where you keep proving your innocence to people who are not seated as judges over your destiny. You are not required to bleed in order to be believed. You are not required to break yourself open for people who only wanted evidence against you and not understanding from you. I am your witness. I am your defender. I am the one who knows how to repair what human words could not repair. And if this word is speaking to the place you are standing in right now, then let your agreement be simple, like this video, as an act of faith that you are no longer carrying this burden alone. Subscribe if this message is meeting your season, and you know I am calling you deeper into peace. And write in the comments, "Lord, defend what I cannot explain." Let that become your surrender. Let it be the moment you stop holding the whole weight by yourself. If you need prayer, leave your request in the comments, and let those who walk in faith stand with you, not in panic, not in bitterness, but in peace. My beloved child, I have seen the accusation that drained you. I have heard the truth beneath your trembling voice. Now, stand back, quiet your spirit, and let me begin to defend what your weary words could not. My beloved child, there is a kind of pain that does not come only from what was said against you, but from realizing that even when you spoke honestly, some hearts did not want your honesty. There are people who heard your words but refused your heart. There are situations where the truth was present, but love was absent. There are moments when you placed your sincerity on the table, trembling, hoping it would be received with mercy, only to watch others pick through your words, looking for a reason to keep believing the worst. I saw that place. I saw the conversation where you tried to remain gentle while your heart was breaking. I saw the message you typed and deleted. I saw the apology you gave, though you were not the only one wounded. I saw the tears that came after you smiled in public. I saw how you tried to be mature, how you tried to be humble, how you tried to take responsibility for your part without accepting a lie about your whole character. And I saw how lonely it felt when your humility was mistaken for guilt, when your silence was mistaken for weakness, when your pain was treated as if it did not matter because someone else had already decided the version of you they wanted to believe. My beloved child, I know the ache of being judged by fragments. I know what it did to your spirit when people took one painful moment and treated it as the whole story. I know how heavy it became when rumors carried your name farther than truth was allowed to go. I know how old mistakes were dragged back into the room as if my grace had never touched them, as if growth had never happened, as if the person you are becoming could be canceled by the person you once were in a wounded season. I know how it feels when reactions are remembered, but the pressure that caused them is ignored, when tears are criticized, but the years of quiet endurance before those tears are never mentioned. Do not allow their incomplete record to become the mirror you use to see yourself. They saw a moment. I saw the road. They heard a sentence. I heard the suffering behind it. They saw the reaction. I saw the wound, the restraint, the prayers, the fear, the love, the patience, and the exhaustion that no one asked about. I do not judge you by fragments, my child. I know the whole of you. I know what broke your heart. I know what you carried too long. I know what you wanted to say but did not say because you were trying to honor me even in your pain. And now I am telling you gently, do not keep trying to force understanding from people committed to misunderstanding. A closed heart cannot be opened by the pressure of your panic. A person who wants to accuse will turn even your explanation into more evidence. A heart that has already chosen distance may hear your truth and still refuse tenderness. This does not mean truth has failed. It means truth is waiting for my appointed time. It means I am teaching you that your peace cannot depend on the willingness of every person to receive you rightly. There is a danger, my beloved child, in explaining until your soul forgets how to rest. Over-explaining can begin as honesty, but if fear takes hold of it, it can become a chain. It can pull your mind into obsession, rehearsing, rewriting, returning again and again to the same wound. It can make you resentful toward those who would not listen. It can make you dependent on human approval, as if you cannot breathe until they agree that you are not what they called you. But I did not create your soul to live at the mercy of every opinion. I did not place your identity in the hands of people who only know pieces of your story. So before I defend you outwardly, I am healing the inward panic that makes you feel you must be believed by everyone. I am touching the place in you that feels unsafe when someone misunderstands you. I am calming the fear that says your future depends on their version of events. I am teaching your heart to stand under my gaze again, because under my gaze you are fully known and not abandoned, fully seen and not condemned, fully understood and still loved. Let your heart rest here. You cannot force closed hearts to receive truth, but I can guard your heart while truth waits. I can keep you from bitterness while justice is still unfolding. I can hold your name while others mishandle it. I can protect your spirit from becoming hard in the very season where you were tempted to defend yourself without ceasing. My beloved child, your truth is not lost because they refused it. It is safe with me. And what is safe with me will rise at the right time. My beloved child, remember Israel standing at the edge of the sea. Behind them was Pharaoh, the sound of chariots, the dust of an enemy that refused to let them go. Before them was water, wide and impossible, a place where human strength had no answer. Around them was fear, rising in the voices of people who could not see a road, could not imagine deliverance, could not understand why I would lead them out, only to bring them to a place where there seemed to be no escape. There are moments in your life that feel like that shoreline. Accusation behind you, pressure before you, fear around you, no visible path that makes sense to the human mind. No explanation strong enough to make the waters move. No argument powerful enough to stop the chariots. No person stepping forward to say, I saw what really happened. I know the truth. I will stand with you. And in that place, your heart can begin to tremble. Not because you do not love me, but because everything around you seems to say that you are trapped between what is chasing you and what you cannot cross. But my beloved child, the sea was never a barrier to me. It was only the place where my power would be revealed. Pharaoh saw water and thought Israel had no way out. Israel saw water and thought their story was ending, but I saw a road that had not yet appeared. I saw dry ground hidden beneath the waves. I saw a testimony waiting inside what looked impossible. I had not brought them to the edge of the sea to abandon them there. I had brought them there so they would learn that what blocks you cannot block me. As written in Exodus, the Lord will fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. Let that word settle deep within you. Hold your peace does not mean pretend nothing hurts. It does not mean smile while your heart is shaking and call it faith. It does not mean deny the fear that rose when the accusation came close behind you. It means do not let fear become your commander. It means do not let panic choose your next step. It means do not let the sound of pursuit make you run into confusion when I am giving instruction in stillness. My beloved child, there is a holy difference between being still and giving up. There is a holy difference between surrender and defeat. When I tell you to stand still, I am not telling you to become passive while injustice continues. I am telling you to stop moving from the wound and begin listening from the Spirit. I'm telling you to stop negotiating with fear as if fear has authority over your future. I am telling you to let my timing become stronger in you than the pressure to prove, answer, chase, explain, and correct every voice that misrepresented you. I did not tell Israel to negotiate with Pharaoh at the shoreline. I did not tell them to turn around and reason with the army that had already hardened itself against their freedom. I did not tell them to write a better defense of why they deserve to be released. I gave instruction. I told Moses to lift the rod. I told the people to go forward. I moved by my power, not by their ability to persuade the oppressor, and the sea obeyed me when Pharaoh would not. Do you see, my child? There are some things that will not open because you explained. They will open because I commanded. There are some hearts that will not release you through conversation, but I can still release you through my hand. There are some accusations that will not fall because you answered every detail, but they will lose their power when I make a way that no lie can follow. The waters parted for my people, but the same waters that became a road for Israel became judgment against the force that tried to drag them back. So when I ask you to stand back, do not hear abandonment, hear protection. When I ask you to stop striving, do not hear silence as rejection. Hear my hand placing you where you can witness what only I can do. I am not delaying your rescue to make you suffer longer. I am positioning you to watch me open what no explanation could open. I am teaching you that your deliverance will not come from exhausting every word within you, but from trusting the one who can speak to seas, silence armies, and make dry ground appear beneath trembling feet. You have been looking at the waters and saying, there is no way this can be repaired. You have been looking behind you and saying, the accusation is too strong, the pressure is too close, the story has gone too far. But I am the God who makes a road where there was only water. I am the God who brings my children through places that should have swallowed them. I am the God who can turn confusion into testimony, fear into worship, delay into revelation, and a closed path into a passage of deliverance. Do not curse the shoreline, my beloved child. The place where you feel trapped may become the place where you see me most clearly. The place where your words ran out may become the place where my power begins to speak. The place where people thought you had no defense may become the place where I show that I was your defense all along. Stand still, not because nothing is happening, but because heaven is moving in ways your eyes have not yet seen. And when the road begins to open, walk under my instruction. Do not run back to argue with Pharaoh. Do not stand on dry ground, rehearsing what the enemy did. Move forward with me. Let the past lose its grip. Let the fear fall behind you. Let the waters of my faithfulness rise as a witness that I did not leave you in the place where you were surrounded. The same God who made a road through the sea can make a testimony through your confusion. The same God who fought for Israel will fight for you. Hold your peace, my beloved child. Your way is not closed. It is waiting for my command. My beloved child, when I tell you that your way is waiting for my command, I am also telling you that the battle is not yours to carry in the strength of your own mind. Remember Jehoshaphat when a great multitude came against him, a force too large for his hands, too heavy for his army, too frightening for the natural eye. He did not pretend the threat was small. He did not call fear faith. He turned his face toward me, and the people stood before me with their little ones, their families, their trembling hearts, knowing they had no power against what was coming. And then my word came, as written in the story of the king who sought me. Do not be afraid or dismayed because of this great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but mine. Let that word enter the place in you that has been so tired from fighting. The battle is not yours. The burden of making every person understand is not yours. The burden of correcting every twisted sentence is not yours. The burden of proving that your heart was sincere to those who have already decided to doubt it is not yours. There is a battle, yes, but I have not asked you to become your own savior in the middle of it. My beloved child, this battle has not only been circumstantial, it has been emotional because it has touched your peace. It has been relational because it has shaken trust. It has been spiritual because it has tempted you to answer pain with bitterness. It has been reputational because your name, your motives, your intentions, and your character have felt exposed before people who did not handle them with care. I know how deeply that wounded you. I know the way accusation can follow you even into quiet rooms. I know the way one false story can feel like an army when it marches through your thoughts again and again. There are battles that do not end when the conversation ends. There are words spoken once that try to echo for months. There are accusations that leave the mouth of another person and then try to take residence inside your own mind. This is why I am not only defending you from people, my beloved child, I am defending your inner life from bitterness. I am defending your tenderness from becoming hardness. I am defending your worship from becoming complaint. I am defending your future from being governed by the pain of this moment. Do not think peace is weakness. Peace is obedience when I have told your soul to stop striving. Peace is not pretending that what happened did not matter. Peace is trusting that what happened is not greater than my authority. Peace is not the absence of battle. It is the evidence that you have chosen your commander. When you refuse to let panic lead you, when you refuse to let revenge shape you, when you refuse to let the lie become the center of your days, you are not being passive. You are standing under my instruction. I saw the temptation to rehearse the conversation again. I saw you imagining what you would say if you had another chance. I saw you checking who believed the lie, who became distant, who stopped speaking, who looked at you differently. I saw you picture confrontations that never happened, defending yourself in rooms you were not even standing in. I saw your mind return to the wound like a hand returning to a bruise, pressing it to see if it still hurts. My beloved child, I do not condemn you for the ache. I know why your mind searched for relief, but I am calling you now to step out of that endless courtroom, because rehearsing pain is not the same as healing from it. The enemy desires more than the accusation spoken against you. He wants the accusation to continue inside you after the voices have gone quiet. He wants you to become both the wounded one and the guard over your own prison. He wants you to wake up defending yourself before anyone has even spoken. He wants you to answer shadows, argue with memories, and keep your spirit tense, as though danger is always near. But I have not given you a spirit of fear. I have given you power, love, and a sound mind. A sound mind does not mean a mind that never hurts. It means a mind that is learning where to bring the hurt. Bring it to me. Bring me the sentence you keep replaying. Bring me the look that cut you. Bring me the silence that made you feel abandoned. Bring me the fear that your name has been damaged beyond repair. Bring me the anger you are afraid to admit. Bring me the desire to be vindicated quickly. I can hold what is too heavy for you. I can touch what people mishandled. I can cleanse your heart without erasing the truth. I can keep you from becoming like the ones who wounded you. My beloved child, your assignment is peace, but peace does not mean you have no part. Your part is to remain anchored while I move. Your part is to pray when your flesh wants to attack. Your part is to bless when bitterness wants to speak. Your part is to be quiet when silence is wisdom, and to speak only when I give you words that are clean, steady, and free from revenge. Your part is not to chase every rumor. Your part is not to hunt down every opinion. Your part is not to prove your innocence until your soul collapses under the weight of being misunderstood. Stand where I place you. Worship before you see the outcome. Jehoshaphat's people did not win by matching the enemy's noise. They lifted praise before the victory was visible, and I set ambushes against what came to destroy them. Do you see, my child? Heaven can fight in ways you cannot arrange. I can move through timing, through conviction, through exposure, through closed doors, through unexpected witnesses, through quiet realizations in hearts you thought would never soften. I can defend without making you frantic. I can restore without making you cruel. So today, guard your peace as an act of faith. Do not let the accusation rent space in the temple of your spirit. Do not keep returning to the wound as if your attention can force justice to arrive sooner. Let me be God over what you cannot control. Let me be judge over what you cannot prove. Let me be defender over what you cannot repair. The battle is mine, but your peace is your assignment. And before my defense becomes visible around you, it will often begin quietly within you, where I calm the storm, loosen the grip of fear, and remind your heart that heaven heard the truth before people ever twisted the story. My beloved child, heaven heard the truth before people ever twisted the story, before the accusation reached another ear, before your name was spoken in a room where you were not present, before someone took a piece of your pain and shaped it into something you did not mean. I was there. I was present before it began, present while it unfolded, and present after you walked away carrying the weight of words you never deserved. Not one moment escaped me. Not one hidden motive was hidden from me. Not one tear fell outside my sight. I heard what was spoken in secret. I saw what was hidden behind the smile. I know where the story was bent, where the truth was reduced, and where your name was handled carelessly. I know the sentence that was repeated without the context that would have softened it. I know the part that was left out because it did not serve the version they wanted others to believe. I know the wounds that were behind your reaction. I know the pressure that built quietly over time before one visible moment became the evidence people used against you. My beloved child, people may judge the visible reaction, but I saw the long pressure that came before it. They may have seen the tears, but I saw the months of endurance. They may have heard the trembling in your voice, but I heard the prayers you whispered before you ever reached that breaking point. They may have noticed the moment you stepped back, but I saw how many times you stayed, forgave, waited, explained, hoped, and tried again. Human judgment often begins at the surface, but my sight goes beneath the surface. I do not need rumor to tell me what happened. I do not need public opinion to inform my justice. I do not need witnesses to agree before I can act. There are rooms where your name was spoken carelessly, but my presence was not absent from those rooms. There are conversations you never heard, but I heard them. There are thoughts people carried about you that they never confessed, but I knew them. There are intentions hidden beneath polite words, and I saw them. There are wounds hidden beneath your silence, and I saw them too. My beloved child, nothing is concealed from me in the way people imagine it is concealed. The darkness is not dark to me. The secret place is open before me. The heart that accused and the heart that was crushed both stand beneath my gaze. And I want you to understand this deeply. My defense of you is rooted in perfect knowledge, not in the shifting opinions of people. I am not waiting until everyone understands before I decide what is true. I am not confused because others are confused. I am not persuaded by the loudest voice, the first report, the most emotional accusation, or the most repeated version of events. I am the God who weighs the heart. I am the God who sees what was done, what was endured, what was intended, what was misunderstood, and what was hidden behind careful words. As written in the Psalms, the Lord is near to the brokenhearted, and he saves those who are crushed in spirit. Let that word come close to you now. I did not despise your crushed spirit. I did not turn away because your heart was tired. I did not reject you because accusation made you feel small. When your spirit felt pressed beneath the weight of being misread, I was near. When you felt ashamed for needing to be defended, I was near. When you wondered if anyone would ever know the full truth, I was already holding the full record in my hands. Do not fear the parts of the story that people do not know. Do not fear the places where your explanation never reached. Do not fear the silence of those who could have spoken but did not. I am not limited by human cooperation. I can defend you through ways you cannot predict. I can bring truth forward through time, through conviction, through exposure, through fruit, through consistency, through the quiet witness of your life. I can let your character speak after accusation has spent its noise. I can reveal what needs to be revealed without requiring you to tear yourself apart. My beloved child, many of my servants were misunderstood before they were revealed. Many were judged in the middle of the story, before the ending showed my hand. Many carried a false label for a season while I was preparing a greater testimony. So do not think delay means denial. Do not think silence means heaven has no record. You are not unseen in this accusation. Heaven already knows the full truth. And when I begin to lift what has been buried, you will see that I was never gathering information. I was guarding you, preparing you, and holding the day when truth would rise under my authority. My beloved child, remember Joseph. Remember the one who carried a dream before he carried a crown. Remember the one whose own brothers looked at the favor on his life and could not rejoice over it. They took what was precious to him. They stripped him of the coat that testified of his father's love. They threw him into a pit where no human hand seemed ready to lift him. They sold him as if his life were nothing more than something to be traded, something to be removed, something to be silenced because his presence reminded them of what they did not want to face. But I was with Joseph in the pit. I was with him on the road to Egypt. I was with him when he entered a house that was not his home, when he served in a place where he had not chosen to be, when he carried excellence in the middle of injustice. My beloved child, do not think that because a season is hidden, it is empty. Do not think that because you were misjudged, I stepped away. Joseph's life looked interrupted, but my hand was still guiding it. Joseph's dream looked buried, but the soil of betrayal could not destroy the seed I had planted. And then came another wound. Joseph chose purity, yet he was accused of evil. He honored me in secret, yet his integrity was turned into a false report. He ran from sin, and still his name was dragged into accusation. Do you see, my child? There are moments when doing what is right does not immediately protect you from being described wrongly. There are moments when obedience is followed by misunderstanding, when restraint is followed by slander, when your refusal to become corrupt makes someone else twist the story against you. Joseph did not deserve the prison, but he entered it carrying a clean heart before me. I saw him there. I saw what people did not see. I saw the truth behind the accusation. I saw the integrity that no one defended. I saw the loneliness of being locked away under a story that was not true. And still, even in prison, I was with him. As written in Genesis, the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy. Let that word become a covering over your own hidden place. My presence is not proven only by open doors. My presence is not proven only by quick vindication. Sometimes, my presence is the strength that keeps your spirit from collapsing while the door is still closed. Sometimes, my mercy is the grace that keeps your heart tender when life has given you reasons to become hard. My beloved child, Joseph was forgotten by the cupbearer after he had helped him. He interpreted the dream. He spoke with wisdom. He asked to be remembered. And still, for a season, the one who could have spoken for him did not speak. I know that pain too. I know what it feels like when someone knows enough to help, yet remains silent. I know the ache of waiting for a word from another person that never comes. I know how delay can feel like rejection when your heart is already tired. But not every season of being unseen is a season of being abandoned. Joseph was forgotten by man, but he was not forgotten by me. A false story can delay comfort, but it cannot destroy the destiny I am protecting. The prison did not cancel Joseph's calling. The accusation did not erase the dream. The betrayal did not have the final word. What people used to bury him became part of the road I used to position him. The pit led to Egypt. Egypt led to Potiphar's house. Potiphar's house led to prison. Prison led to Pharaoh's court. And Pharaoh's court revealed that what looked like a chain of losses was being gathered into a testimony of divine placement. Do not despise the hidden road, my child. I know you wanted vindication to come quickly. I know you wanted the truth to rise before the wound became so deep. I know you wanted someone to say, "We were wrong." I know you wanted the story corrected before it cost you peace. But I am doing more than correcting a story. I am forming a soul that can carry authority without revenge. I did not vindicate Joseph by making him bitter. I did not lift him so he could crush the ones who crushed him. I prepared him in the hidden place until power could rest in his hands without poisoning his heart. This is why I am guarding you now. I am not only preparing your vindication, I am preparing your spirit to survive it cleanly. Do not let unfair treatment turn you into someone who rejoices in another person's humiliation. Do not let accusation teach your tongue to accuse. Do not let betrayal make cruelty feel like strength. My defense will not require you to become like the ones who wounded you. My justice will not need your bitterness as evidence. I can prove truth without destroying the tenderness I placed within you. When Joseph finally stood before his brothers, he saw the larger story. He did not deny their wrongdoing. He did not pretend the pit was gentle. He did not call betrayal love. But he said what they meant for evil, I used for good. That is not weakness, my beloved child. That is a soul that has been healed deeply enough to see beyond the weapon. That is a heart that has learned. My sovereignty is greater than human cruelty. That is vindication without vengeance. So hold your peace in the delay. Let me protect what I have placed on your life. False accusation cannot cancel my calling. Being forgotten by people cannot erase my remembrance. Being misjudged for a season cannot stop the appointed hour when I call your name forward. But when I lift you, receive it with clean hands. Do not take vengeance into your own hands before my timing has completed its work. Joseph teaches you that I can raise the misjudged, and David will teach you that the lifted one must still refuse revenge. My beloved child, remember David in the cave. Remember the one who had been anointed, yet was hunted. Remember the one who had served faithfully, played the harp with purity, fought battles with courage, honored Saul with humility, and still found himself pursued as if he were an enemy. Saul had misjudged him, feared him, accused him in his own heart, and chased him through wilderness places. David did not ask for that war. He did not create that jealousy. He did not deserve the spear, the suspicion, or the long season of hiding. Yet there he was, in the shadows of a cave, carrying a promise from me, while being treated like a threat by the one who should have recognized my hand upon him. And then came the moment. Saul entered the very cave where David and his men were hidden. The one who had chased him was suddenly within reach. The one who had wounded him was vulnerable. The one who had power over him now seemed placed into his hands. Around David were voices saying, "This is your chance. This is the moment. This is the day the Lord has delivered your enemy to you." And my beloved child, I want you to listen carefully, because not every open door is my permission. Not every opportunity to expose is my instruction. Not every chance to answer is my command. Not every moment when you could hurt the one who hurt you is a moment I have blessed. David could have called it justice. He could have said, "I am only doing what was done to me." He could have used the pain as permission. He could have let the years of hiding, the nights of fear, the loneliness of being misunderstood, and the exhaustion of being hunted rise within him like fire. He could have ended Saul's life and explained it as self-defense, destiny, or vindication. But David's hand trembled before my holiness more than it burned for revenge. He cut the corner of Saul's robe, and even that touched his conscience. Do you see, my child? A heart formed by me is sensitive even when it has been wounded deeply. A heart formed by me does not lose reverence just because it has been mistreated. There will be moments when you could speak harshly and people would understand. There will be moments when you could reveal what you know, repeat what was done, uncover what was hidden, and make the one who accused you feel the weight of their own actions. There will be moments when words will rise in you like arrows, and you will know exactly where to aim them. But I am teaching you the holy restraint of a wounded soul. I am teaching you that strength is not proven by how sharply you can answer, but by whether your spirit remains clean when pain gives you a reason to become cruel. Do not let their accusation turn you into an accuser. Do not let their coldness steal the tenderness I placed within you. Do not let their dishonor make dishonor feel righteous in your mouth. Do not let their blindness make you rejoice in the thought of their exposure. My beloved child, I know what they did hurt you. I know the lie was not small. I know the silence of others cut deeply. I know your heart has asked why they were allowed to speak while you were told to wait. But I am not asking you to deny the wound. I am asking you not to crown the wound as king over your responses. Forgiveness does not mean calling evil good. It does not mean pretending the spear never flew. It does not mean returning to unsafe places, opening yourself again to manipulation, or giving trust back to hands that have not learned how to carry it. David did not pretend Saul was harmless. He did not move back into the palace as though nothing had happened. He kept wisdom, he kept distance, he kept discernment. But he also refused to take the throne of judgment into his own hands. That is what forgiveness does. It releases the throne back to me. It says, "Lord, you saw it. Lord, you know it. Lord, you judge righteously. I will not poison my soul trying to become the judge of another person's heart. As written in my word, vengeance belongs to me. I will repay." Let that word guard you. It is not a threat for you to carry like a weapon. It is a release for you to rest beneath like a covering. It means you do not have to become the avenger of your own pain. It means you do not have to keep your heart burning in order for justice to remain alive. It means you can lay down the secret desire to make them feel what you felt, and still trust that truth has not been buried beyond my reach. My beloved child, mercy is not weakness. Mercy is strength under my authority. Mercy is a sword returned to its sheath, because the hand that holds it fears me more than it hates the enemy. Mercy is what happens when I have been forming maturity in the hidden places of your soul. When you could retaliate and you choose prayer, when you could humiliate and you choose silence, when you could twist the story back against them and you choose truth without venom, heaven sees that. Heaven sees the restraint no one applauds. Heaven sees the tears you swallow so your tongue will not sin. Heaven sees the battle you fight inside yourself when the old wound begs to speak from bitterness. And I tell you this, I can defend you without requiring you to become like the ones who wounded you. I can lift you without making you cruel. I can clear your name without teaching your mouth to destroy. I can bring truth into the light without letting revenge become the lamp you carry. David left the cave with his heart still trembling before me, and because of that, his future could carry authority. The throne I prepared for him could not be built on the blood of his own vengeance. So today, choose the clean road. Choose the narrow mercy that still tells the truth. Choose the restraint that trusts me more than it trusts an immediate answer. Do not confuse mercy with the absence of justice. Mercy does not cancel justice, my beloved child. Mercy makes room for my justice to work cleanly. When you release revenge, you are not releasing truth. You are releasing the poison that would have entered your own spirit while you waited for truth to rise. Let me judge. Let me reveal. Let me defend. Keep your hands clean, keep your heart soft, and let your refusal to retaliate become evidence that I have been forming something deeper in you than pain. My beloved child, my justice walks with mercy, but it does not ignore truth. I do not sleep over what was done to you. I do not confuse silence with approval. I do not confuse delay with absence. I have not looked away from the words that wounded you, the story that was bent against you, the motives that were questioned, or the pain that entered your heart when you realized that some people were more willing to believe an accusation than to ask what was true. I saw it, I waited, I held it before you knew how to put it into prayer. Do not think that because I ask you to release revenge, I am asking you to release justice. Do not think that because I call you into mercy, I am calling you into denial. My mercy is not blindness. My mercy is not weakness. My mercy does not erase the wound and pretend the blade was never there. My righteousness always walks with mercy, but it never needs bitterness in order to be strong. The justice of heaven is clean. It does not stagger under rage. It does not borrow the language of hatred. It does not need your sleepless mind to keep evidence alive. I know what happened, my beloved child, and I know how to defend truth without letting revenge become your master. There is a kind of justice the wounded heart begins to imagine when pain has been left alone too long. It imagines exposure that humiliates. It imagines the guilty feeling the same shame. It imagines every person who misunderstood finally turning around with regret in their eyes. It imagines the lie collapsing loudly, publicly, completely, so no one can ever doubt again. I understand why your heart has wanted that. I understand why the ache inside you has cried out, Lord, let them see. Lord, let them know. Lord, do not let this false thing stand. I do not despise that cry. I receive it. But I am teaching you that my justice is higher than the wounded imagination, and my defense is purer than the revenge pain tries to design. My justice may expose. My justice may correct. My justice may separate. My justice may restore. My justice may redirect your steps away from places where your heart kept bleeding. My justice may bring a hidden thing into the light, or it may quietly remove you from the need to keep standing before people who have already chosen not to hear you. But my justice will never be controlled by your rage. It will never become a servant of bitterness. It will never ask you to keep your soul inflamed so that truth can be remembered. Truth is not preserved by your torment. Truth is preserved by my authority. Do not fear that if you stop defending yourself, the lie will win. Do not fear that if you become quiet, the false story will grow roots deeper than my hand can reach. Do not fear that if you stop explaining, heaven will lose the record. My beloved child, I am not like man. I do not forget what is entrusted to me. I do not need endless repetition to keep truth alive. I can let truth rise at the appointed time through circumstances no one can arrange, through fruit no accusation can imitate, through witnesses you did not know were watching, through hearts that begin to change, through patterns that reveal themselves, and through the quiet collapse of what was false, because it had no root in me. There are times when I defend you by opening the eyes of those who misunderstood. There are times when I trouble a conscience in the night. There are times when I allow someone to remember a detail they ignored, to question a version they accepted too quickly, to feel the weight of what they repeated without care. There are times when I soften hearts that were once closed, and the truth comes not with thunder, but with repentance, with humility, with a quiet admission that they did not see clearly. Do not limit me, my child. I can enter rooms where you are not invited. I can speak to hearts that your words could not reach. I can correct what you could not correct. But there are also times when I defend you by freeing you from the need to be understood by those who are determined to misunderstand. There are times when my justice does not look like their apology, but like your release. There are times when the victory is not that they finally call you innocent, but that their opinion no longer holds your breath in its hands. There are times when I separate you from the court of human approval and bring you into a deeper rest beneath my gaze. That too is justice. That too is mercy. That too is restoration, because what they called you was beginning to echo too loudly inside you, and I will not let another person's blindness become the name you answer to. As written in my word, I love righteousness and justice, and the earth is full of my steadfast love. Do you see, my beloved child, my justice and my love are not enemies. My justice does not ignore evil, and my love does not abandon the wounded. My justice does not pretend truth is unimportant, and my mercy does not leave you chained to the need for revenge. I can judge what happened and heal the one it happened to. I can correct what was wrong and cleanse what bitterness tried to plant in you. I can defend your name and restore your heart at the same time. So let me take the bitterness from your hands. Let me take the burning need to prove, to answer, to expose, to make them understand. Let me take the fear that silence means defeat. Let me take the exhaustion of carrying your own case day and night. You have been afraid that if you rest, the accusation will remain standing. But I am telling you now, rest does not strengthen the lie. Rest strengthens your trust in me. Peace does not surrender truth. Peace surrenders the belief that you must bleed in order for truth to matter. My beloved child, the deepest victory is not only that others see the truth. The deepest victory is that you become free from needing revenge in order to feel safe. The deepest victory is that your heart becomes clean again, your sleep becomes quiet again, your prayers become tender again, and your spirit no longer rises and foes with the opinions of those who misread you. I will not ignore what happened. I will not leave truth buried. But I will heal you instead of making bitterness your evidence. Let my justice walk, let my mercy work, let my timing speak. And while I defend what you could not explain, let me make you whole in the place where accusation tried to divide you. My beloved child, I know the question that has been rising in the quiet places of your heart. Why have I not corrected the story yet? Why have I not opened the door yet? Why have I not made them understand yet? Why does the one who spoke wrongly seem comfortable, while the one who was wounded is still waiting for relief? I have heard that question even when you did not have the strength to pray it. I have heard it in the sighs, in the long pauses, in the tears that came after you told yourself you were finished crying. I have heard it when you looked toward heaven and wondered if my silence meant I had nothing to say. But my beloved child, do not mistake my silence for absence. Do not mistake my quietness for neglect. Do not think that because I have not corrected the story in the way you expected, I am not moving through the deeper places that people cannot see. There are works I do before I reveal. There are coverings I place before I open. There are moments when I hide you, not because I have forgotten you, but because your heart is still too tender to be exposed to voices that would mishandle it again. Remember Hagar in the wilderness. She was thirsty, afraid, exhausted, and convinced that what she loved was about to die in front of her. The desert looked empty. The air looked merciless. Her pain was so loud that provision seemed invisible. But when I opened her eyes, she saw the well. My beloved child, that well had not suddenly appeared in that moment. It had already been there. The provision was near before her sight could receive it. Her desperation did not mean I had failed to provide. Her blindness and grief did not mean my mercy was absent. So it is with you. You have been looking for the public answer, the corrected reputation, the repaired relationship, the open door, the moment when someone finally understands. and I know why you desire it. I know how much it has hurt to be misread. I know how heavy it feels when your name is carrying a weight you never placed on it. But while you are asking me to prepare an answer before people, I may first be preparing a well of peace inside you. Before I restore what others think, I may be restoring how you breathe. Before I make the truth visible to them, I may be teaching your heart that it is already safe with me. Do not despise the hidden well. Do not despise the quiet grace that keeps you from answering while your wound is still bleeding. There are conversations I have not allowed you to return to, because you would have poured out your heart before people who were not ready to hold it with care. There are doors I have kept closed because behind them was not understanding, but another cycle of explaining, defending, hoping, and breaking. There are words I have held back from your mouth because they may have been true, but they would have come from pain instead of peace. My silence has not always been a wall against you. Sometimes it has been a covering over you. My beloved child, what feels buried is not always dead. A seed disappears beneath the soil, but it is not abandoned there. It is covered because growth begins in hiddenness. It is surrounded by darkness, yet life is moving within it. No one claps for the seed beneath the ground. No one sees the roots stretching. No one knows the quiet work taking place under the surface. But at the appointed time, what was hidden breaks through the soil. Do you see? Delay is not always denial. Hiddenness is not always loss. Silence is not always emptiness. Sometimes I am protecting what is alive until the season can carry it. So stop interpreting every delay as proof that I am inactive. Stop measuring my care by how quickly people change their minds. Stop believing that if no one has apologized, no healing has begun. Stop thinking that if the door has not opened, my hand is not near. I am near in the waiting. I am near in the restraint. I am near in the silence that keeps you from bleeding in the wrong place. I am near while I teach your soul to rest without immediate public vindication. And now, my beloved child, let me turn your eyes from the crowd back to the place where I call you by name. When you stop demanding that every person understand you before you can have peace, I can begin restoring who you are inside. When you stop waiting for accusation to release you, you will hear my voice more clearly than their judgment. You are not suspended between their opinion and your worth. You are held in my sight. Let the hidden well rise within you. Let the seed live beneath my covering. Let my silence become shelter until my timing becomes speech. My beloved child, now let me speak to the place beneath the wound. Let me speak not only to what happened around you, but to what accusation tried to do inside you. Because the enemy of your soul does not only want to hurt your circumstances, he wants to rename you through them. He wants one season, one conflict, one misunderstanding, one mistake, one false report, one painful conversation, or one broken relationship to become the name you carry when you look at yourself. He wants you to hear guilty when I call you redeemed. He wants you to hear difficult when I call you chosen. He wants you to hear unstable when I call you held. He wants you to hear unworthy when I call you beloved. He wants you to hear untrustworthy when I am still teaching your heart how to walk in truth. But my beloved child, I do not call you by the sentence people tried to place over you. I call you mine. I do not call you by the harshest version of your story. I do not call you by the moment they misunderstood. I do not call you by the name that was spoken from anger, fear, jealousy, confusion, or pain. I know your whole story. I know the parts people saw, the parts they twisted, the parts they ignored, and the parts you still bring to me with tears because you wish you had handled them differently. I am not afraid of the truth about you. I see all of it, and still I call you mine. Do not allow accusation to become your mirror. Do not stand every morning before the words of people who did not see you clearly and ask them to tell you who you are. Their voice is not the breath that formed you. Their judgment is not the hand that shaped you. Their disappointment is not the foundation of your worth. My beloved child, before anyone misunderstood you, I knew you. Before anyone accused you, I loved you. Before anyone named you by your weakness, I had already written mercy over your life. Remember Gideon. He was hiding when I called him mighty. He did not look like a warrior in his own eyes. He was threshing wheat in fear, surrounded by pressure, living beneath the shadow of what had oppressed his people. Yet my angel did not greet him according to his hiding place. He was called mighty man of valor while he still felt small. Do you see, my child? I do not wait until you look strong to speak strength over you. I do not wait until your confidence returns to call forth what I placed within you. Sometimes I name you by what I am forming, not by what fear has made visible. Remember Peter, he denied me, not once, but again and again, and the sound of his own failure must have echoed in his soul. He wept bitterly because he had seen a version of himself he did not want to face. But I did not leave him chained to the courtyard of denial. I met him again. I restored him again. I asked him, "Do you love me?" Not because I did not know, but because his own heart needed to hear love speak louder than failure. I did not erase the truth of what happened, but I revealed a greater truth. Grace was not finished with him. His denial was real, but it was not final. And remember the Samaritan woman at the well. She came carrying shame, history, avoidance, and the weight of being known wrongly or too painfully. She came when others were not gathered, as if loneliness had become safer than exposure. But I met her there. I spoke to her there. I revealed living water to her there, and the woman whose story could have been used to silence her became a witness. The place of shame became the place of testimony. The one who may have felt disqualified carried a message into the city. My beloved child, that is what I can do with a life people thought they understood too quickly. So, listen carefully. My defense of you is not only about correcting other people's opinions. It is about restoring your sense of self where accusation has bruised it. It is about healing the part of you that began to wonder, maybe I am what they said. Maybe I am too much. Maybe I am the problem. Maybe I will always be seen through this wound. Maybe my name will always carry this shadow. No, my child, their accusation is not your identity. Their misunderstanding is not your measure. Their inability to hold the fullness of your story does not make the smallest, sharpest piece of it the truth of who you are. And yes, I know there are places where you have made mistakes. I know there are words you wish you could gather back. I know there are decisions you now see with clearer eyes. I know there were moments when pain spoke before wisdom, when fear moved before trust, when exhaustion made you respond in a way that did not reflect the deepest part of your heart. I am not calling you flawless. I am calling you loved. I am not saying every step was perfect. I am saying your mistake is not the full measure of your identity. A chapter is not the whole book. A wound is not the whole body. A shadow is not the whole sky. Sometimes, my defense is not me proving that you never failed. Sometimes, my defense is me revealing that grace is greater than the part others used against you. Sometimes I defend you by showing that your repentance is real. Your heart is still tender. Your growth is visible, your fruit is changing, and the name they tried to fasten to you no longer fits the person I am healing. Let them speak from an old snapshot if they choose. I am forming the living soul. Let them remember one broken moment if they insist. I am writing restoration across the whole journey. My beloved child, you are not guilty because someone needed you to be. You are not dramatic because your pain finally found a voice. You are not difficult because you stopped pretending something did not hurt. You are not unstable because you trembled under a weight no one saw. You are not unworthy because someone refused to value your heart. You are not untrustworthy because another person told your story without tenderness. You are mine. You are still being restored. You are still being taught. You are still being held. You are still covered by mercy that reaches deeper than accusation. So let my voice become louder than the names they placed on you. Let my word wash your inner mirror until you can see again without the stain of their judgment. Let me call you beloved until shame loosens its grip. Let me call you chosen until rejection loses its authority. Let me call you restored until the old sentence falls from your shoulders. You do not have to spend your life standing in front of every person, begging them to see the healed version of you. You do not have to drag evidence of your worth from room to room. You do not have to keep reopening wounds so others will believe they were real. When identity is restored, the courtroom inside you begins to quiet. When you know who you are in me, you no longer need every human voice to agree before you can breathe. When my name over you becomes stronger than their label, you can lay down the burden of explaining yourself to hearts that are not ready to understand. So come closer, my beloved child. Let me remove the name that hurt you. Let me lift the sentence that bent your shoulders. Let me place my hand upon your heart and remind you again, you are not the name they put on you, you are mine. My beloved child, now I want to enter the courtroom you have been carrying in your mind. I want to step into that hidden place where you keep replaying the conversation, arranging the evidence, answering the accusation, calling imaginary witnesses, preparing the words you wish you had spoken, and waiting for a verdict that never seems to bring rest. You have stood there so many times in your thoughts. You have gone back to the same moment, the same message, the same look, the same silence, the same misunderstanding, and you have tried to build a defense strong enough to finally make your heart feel safe. I saw you become the defendant, trembling beneath a charge you did not deserve. I saw you become the lawyer, searching for every detail that could prove your intention was pure. I saw you become the witness, rehearsing what really happened and what was left out. I saw you become the judge, asking again and again whether you should have said more, done more, explained better, stayed quieter, fought harder, walked away sooner. My beloved child, no wounded heart was meant to carry all those roles at once. No soul can remain tender while living day and night inside an inner trial. There are nights when your body is lying down, but your mind is still standing before people who are not even in the room. There are mornings when you wake already tired because your thoughts have been arguing while you slept. There are moments when peace tries to come near, but then one memory rises, one phrase returns, one imagined response forms, and suddenly you are back in the courtroom again. You gather evidence that I have already seen. You prepare speeches for hearts I have not opened. You relive wounds that I am trying to heal. And all the while, I am not asking you to prove what I already know. Do not mistake internal rehearsal for wisdom. Do not call endless mental defense discernment when it is draining the life I am restoring in you. There is a place for truth. There is a place for honest reflection. There is a place for repentance, where repentance is needed, and clarity where clarity is possible. But there is also a cycle that does not heal you. It only keeps the wound warm. It makes your mind return to the scene as though another hour of thinking will finally change what happened. My beloved child, I am not asking you to deny the pain. I am asking you to stop letting the pain hold court inside you. Lay down the speeches you keep preparing. Lay down the fear that your silence will be misunderstood. Lay down the burden of convincing those I have not assigned you to convince. Lay down the sentence you keep writing in your mind for people who hurt you. Lay down the imaginary conversation where they finally listen perfectly, because your peace cannot depend on a moment they may never give you. Lay down the need to win the argument inside your own thoughts before you allow yourself to rest. I have seen the truth. I have heard what was spoken. I have heard what was not spoken. I have weighed what was hidden beneath the surface. You do not have to keep presenting the case to me as if I have forgotten. As written in my word, the peace of God will guard your heart and your mind. Do you see, my child? My peace is not only a feeling that visits you after everything is solved. My peace is a guard. My peace stands at the gate of your thoughts and says, this does not have permission to torment you anymore. My peace interrupts the cycle. My peace teaches you to pause before responding, to pray before defending, to breathe before returning to the wound. My peace helps you ask, is this reply coming from wisdom or from panic? Is this checking healing me or feeding the ache? Is this conversation obedience or is it another attempt to force a verdict from a closed heart? So today, practice release in the small places where the cycle begins. When you feel the urge to answer from fear, bring the words to me first. When your hand reaches to check what they said, where they went, who believed them, who remained silent, pause and let me ask you whether that doorway leads to peace or bondage. When your mind begins writing another defense, stop and whisper, Lord, you saw it. Lord, you know the truth. Lord, guard my heart from trying to be my own savior. This is not weakness. This is obedience. This is how you make room in your soul for me to rule where accusation has been ruling too long. Bless without returning to bondage. Forgive without pretending the wound was holy. Release without reopening every door. Pray for those who harmed you without placing your heart back into their hands before I have healed it. You can desire mercy for them and still walk in wisdom. You can refuse bitterness and still refuse the cycle. You can be quiet without being defeated. You can be gentle without being available to the same injury again and again. My beloved child, peace is not passivity. Peace is agreement with my authority. The first place I want to defend you is inside your own mind. Before I lift your name before others, I want to lift the weight from within you. Before I silence every voice around you, I want to quiet the echo that has been tormenting you within. Because if I vindicate you outwardly while the courtroom still lives inside, you will keep needing another verdict, another apology, another witness, another sign that you are finally safe. But when my peace begins to rule within you, you will recognize my defense without being controlled by bitterness. You will see truth rise without needing revenge to announce it. So stand back, my beloved child, not in denial, not in fear, not in surrender to the lie. Stand back in trust. Let the courtroom empty. Let the arguments fall silent. Let the witnesses you imagine be released from the stand. Let the judge's seat belong to me. I know how to bring truth forward. I know how to clear what has been clouded. I know how to defend what your words could not reach. And when the time comes for truth to rise, you will not meet it with a bitter spirit, but with a steady heart, a clean hand, and a peace that proves I was already defending you long before people could see it. My beloved child, truth does not need panic to become visible when I have appointed its rising. It does not need your trembling hands to force open a door that I have not yet unlocked. It does not need your restless explanations to make it powerful. It does not need your revenge to give it strength. Truth belongs to me, and when I command it to stand, no lie can keep it buried forever. What was whispered in darkness can be answered by my light. What was hidden beneath confusion can be uncovered by my wisdom. What was twisted by wounded mouths can be straightened by my hand. Do not think that because the truth has not yet been seen by everyone, it has lost its power. A seed beneath the soil is not powerless because no one sees the roots. Dawn does not argue with the night. It does not shout at the darkness. It does not beg the stars to move aside. It simply arrives when its time has come, and what once covered the land begins to lose its authority. So it will be with the truth I am guarding over your life. You may not know the hour. You may not know the method. You may not know who I will awaken, what I will reveal, which door I will open, or which heart I will soften. But I know how to bring morning after a long night. There are ways I defend my children that they could never plan. Sometimes I expose hidden motives without you needing to say a word. Sometimes I allow false alliances to weaken because what was built on deception cannot hold forever. Sometimes I cause sincere people to begin seeing clearly, not because you convinced them, but because I lifted the fog from their understanding. Sometimes I open doors after rejection, and the very place that refused you becomes the road that led you into greater mercy. Sometimes I defend you by replacing panic with peace, so deeply that the accusation no longer controls your breath. And sometimes, my beloved child, I let your fruit speak with a voice your arguments could never carry. For fruit has a language of its own. A healed heart bears witness. A steady spirit bears witness. A life that continues to love without becoming bitter bears witness. Faithfulness in the hidden place bears witness. The way you keep praying, keep serving, keep growing, keep repenting where you need to repent, keep refusing to return evil for evil, keep walking with clean hands, even when your name has been mishandled. All of this speaks before me. And in time, it will speak before others in the way I choose. Not every defense will look like a public announcement. Not every vindication will sound like an apology. Not every correction will come through the mouths you expected, but no act of faithfulness is silent in heaven. My beloved child, do not make vindication your idol. Do not let the desire to be proven right become the throne where your peace should sit. I know why you long for relief. I know why you want someone to finally say, I see it now. I understand now. I should not have believed that. I should not have said that. I should not have treated you that way. I know the ache of being misjudged. I know the weariness of carrying truth in a room that chose a lie. But if you make human recognition the gatekeeper of your freedom, you will remain tied to the people who wounded you. I have a greater gift for you than being understood by everyone. I have the gift of peace with me before people understand. As written in my word, commit your way to the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. He shall bring forth your righteousness as the light. Do you see, my child? Light comes forth. It rises. It appears. It does not need to claw its way into being. It comes under my command. This is why I am teaching you to live faithfully, while I handle what your hands cannot reach. Keep your spirit clean. Keep your heart soft. Keep your tongue guarded. Keep your feet on the path I have placed before you. Do not stop living because someone misunderstood a chapter of your story. Do not abandon your calling because accusation tried to interrupt your courage. Do not shrink your obedience to fit the opinion of those who did not see the whole truth. There may be a quiet vindication, where I heal you so deeply that their words lose the power to define your day. There may be a gradual vindication, where one person sees, then another understands, then time reveals what pressure concealed. There may be a sudden vindication, where what was hidden is brought forward quickly, and you stand amazed, because I did in one moment what your striving could not do in many months. But whether it comes quietly, gradually, or suddenly, it will come under my authority, not under your panic. I will not require you to break yourself open again to prove what I already know. So today, my beloved child, keep living in the direction of truth. Let your life agree with me, even while people are still sorting through what they believe. Let your peace become a testimony that I am defending you inwardly before I reveal anything outwardly. Let your obedience become a lamp. Let your gentleness become strength. Let your patience become evidence that you have placed the timing in my hands. And when the truth begins to rise, do not meet it with pride. Do not say, "Now they will suffer as I suffered." Say, "Lord, keep my heart clean in the day of revealing. Keep me humble when the light comes. Keep me merciful when the fog lifts. Keep me close to you." Because the pain that required my defense will not be wasted. The wound that made you cry out for justice will become a place of compassion. The season where you nearly exhausted yourself explaining will teach you how to help others stop striving. You will recognize the trembling voice of the misunderstood. You will know how to sit with those who cannot yet find words. You will become gentle with the ones who are still carrying their own courtroom inside. My beloved child, I am not only bringing truth forward for you, I am forming testimony within you. And when the dawn comes, you will know that the night did not have the final word. I did. My beloved child, I am not only bringing you out of the pain of being misunderstood, I am shaping you into a shelter for others who will one day come trembling beneath the same kind of weight. The wound that made you feel alone will not remain only a wound. In my hands, it will become a place of mercy. The tears you cried when no one believed, you will become healing oil for someone whose voice is shaking. The silence that felt like punishment will become a school of spiritual maturity, where you learn not to answer every accusation, not to judge every story quickly, not to assume you know the whole matter when you have only heard a broken piece. Do you see, my child, I do not waste what you surrendered to me. I do not waste the nights when you could not explain. I do not waste the moments when your name was handled carelessly. I do not waste the ache of watching people believe what was incomplete. I am taking that pain and forming within you a gentler wisdom. You will know how dangerous half-stories can be. You will know how heavy a false conclusion can feel when it lands on an already wounded heart. You will know why mercy must move slowly before it speaks loudly. And because you have known what it is to be misread, I will teach you to read others with patience. There are people who will cross your path carrying accusations. They do not know how to survive. There are people who will sit near you smiling, while inside they are begging someone to ask the right question. There are people who have been named by a mistake, reduced to a rumor, trapped inside another person's version of events, and they will not need your quick opinion. They will need your careful listening. They will need your prayerful silence. They will need someone who does not rush to condemn, someone who understands that truth is holy and must not be handled with pride. My beloved child, you are becoming that kind of person. But remember this, and let it keep your heart humble. When I defend you, do not become superior. When I lift the weight from you, do not use your relief as a throne. When truth rises, do not become harsh toward those who are still blind, and do not make your vindication a weapon. The purpose of my defense is not to make you stand above others and say, "They were wrong and I was right." The purpose of my defense is to make you free, free from bitterness, free from the need to punish, free from the hunger to be applauded by the same voices that once wounded you, free to love with wisdom, to speak with restraint, to walk with clean hands, and to carry mercy without denying truth. As written in my word, blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Let that word become living within you. Be merciful, not because what happened did not matter, but because I had mercy on you while I was healing what happened. Judge slowly. Listen carefully. Pray deeply. Refuse to spread half stories. Refuse to become a mouth for confusion. Refuse to use another person's wounded season as entertainment, evidence, or gossip. If you have learned anything in this valley, let it be this. A soul is too precious to be summarized by a rumor, and a life is too deep to be judged by one fragment, seen from far away. My beloved child, your wound will become a well. Others will drink courage from the place where you thought you would only carry pain. Your testimony will not merely be that people were wrong about you. Your testimony will be that I kept your heart from becoming wrong while you waited. I kept you from revenge. I kept you from bitterness. I kept you from losing your tenderness. I taught you how to stand still, how to hold your peace, how to release the inner courtroom, and how to trust me with what your words could not fix. So now, let your pain become compassion. Let your story become shelter. Let your silence become wisdom. Let your tears become oil. Let your wound become a well for the weary and misunderstood. I am not only restoring your name, I am restoring your heart. I am not only answering the accusation, I am preparing a testimony. And the final word I speak over you is not merely, they were wrong. The final word I speak over you is, my child, you are free. My beloved child, now stand back and receive the peace I am giving you. Do not reach for the burden again. Do not pick up the argument again. Do not return to the courtroom again, as though your soul must keep bleeding for truth to remain true. I have seen you. I have heard you. I have known the full record from the beginning. And now I am calling you into the holy place where striving ends, where revenge loses its voice, where fear bows down, and where your heart learns to rest beneath my covering. So let this become your prayer. Lord, quiet my heart where accusation has made it restless. Quiet the thoughts that keep returning to what was said, what was believed, what was twisted, what was left out, and what I could not make them understand. Remove from me the pressure to over-explain myself to hearts you have not opened. Heal the wounds that came from being misjudged. Heal the trembling places where I began to fear that the lie would become my name. Heal the exhaustion of trying to prove what you already know. Let your peace enter the rooms inside me where conflict has been echoing for too long. My beloved child, pray it slowly. Let the words fall into the deep places. Lord, I release the mental courtroom. I release the imaginary arguments. I release the fear of public opinion. I release the need to be understood by every person before I can breathe again. I release revenge. I release bitterness. I release the hunger to see others hurt the way I was hurt. I release the burden of proving my innocence through panic, anger, and endless explanation. I place my name, my story, my tears, my motives, and my future into your hands. And now declare with faith, even if your voice is small, I stand back. I hold my peace. The Lord will fight for me. God will defend what I could not explain. Say it again until your spirit hears it. I stand back. I hold my peace. The Lord will fight for me. God will defend what I could not explain. This is not surrender to the lie. This is surrender to me. This is not weakness. This is trust. This is not silence born from fear. This is stillness born from faith. As written in my word, the Lord will fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. Let that word become a wall around your mind. Let it stand at the entrance of your emotions when accusation tries to return. Let it guard you when you feel tempted to defend yourself from panic instead of wisdom. Let it remind you that my defense does not arrive late. It arrives appointed. My timing is not negligence. My silence is not abandonment. My peace is not emptiness. It is my presence holding you while I prepare what you cannot see. Lord, let truth rise in your timing. Let what has been hidden come into the light with mercy. Expose what needs to be exposed, but keep my heart from becoming cruel. Reveal hidden motives where they have caused harm, but do not let me rejoice in another soul's correction. Defend me without allowing pride to grow in me. Vindicate me without letting bitterness sit on the throne of my heart. Teach me to want truth more than revenge, healing more than applause, freedom more than control. Let my hands stay clean while you bring justice. Let my tongue stay guarded while you bring clarity. Let my heart stay soft while you bring light. My beloved child, I am protecting you from more than their words. I am protecting you from becoming hardened by what their words did. I am guarding the tenderness that pain tried to steal. I am teaching you how to be free without needing to punish. I am teaching you how to walk away from the need to be seen by every eye. because you are already seen by mine. I am teaching you how to live from my verdict instead of from their opinion. You are beloved. You are seen. You are covered. You are defended. You are not abandoned, not for a single moment. So receive this peace. Let it settle over your mind. Let it soften your chest. Let it loosen your shoulders. Let it calm your breath. Let it wash the places where you have carried fear, shame, anger, confusion, and weariness. You do not have to prove what I have already witnessed. You do not have to avenge what I have already weighed. You do not have to force open the door that I have chosen to open in my time. Stand back, my beloved child. Hold your peace. I am defending what your words could not reach. And now, if this word has reached the place in you that has been exhausted from explaining, write this as your declaration of faith. God is defending me. Let it be more than a comment. Let it be a surrender. Share this message with someone who has been tired from trying to make their heart understood. Subscribe and stay near these prayerful messages, because I am still speaking peace over wounded hearts. And if you need prayer for peace, protection, or vindication, leave your request. You are not alone in this place. You are mine. You are covered, and I will defend what you could not explain.